All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, earlier today, the announcement coming down from a New York City grand jury in the case of Eric Gardner, who died in police custody while they were arresting him. It was so-called chokehold case. No indictment from the grand jury. Now, of course, joining us right now is Michael Meyers. He's President and Executive Director of the New York Civil Rights Coalition. We have a lot to talk about, Michael. Let's start with this breaking news of the day. Today, everybody knew the grand jury was meeting. They might have had a decision, and the networks were speculating, and we have the video. Here again, well, your reaction to the no indictment. Are you surprised?
No.
Why not?
Well, if there was going to be an indictment, you got to remember, you got to have what the grand jury does. The grand jury sees if there's probable cause to believe a crime has been committed, and if a crime has committed, the person who was before the subject of the arrest, the cop, whether or not that cop committed.
And he testified for 2 hours.
And there has to be a grand jury that believes that a crime was committed. And according to the people that I've talked to, there is no state law against a chokehold. There's the NYPD policy against the chokehold, but there's no state law against the chokehold. And then the question becomes whether there's reasonable force used by the police officer to subdue him and to arrest him. That becomes the issue for the grand jury. Now, the question for us is, and there was a videotape, which is the difference between New York City or Staten Island and Ferguson. There was a videotape, and people saw a man screaming and telling them they couldn't breathe. And that, and the son of Eric Gardner said, all you got to do is look at the videotape. But that's not what the grand jury does. It just doesn't look at a videotape.
No.
It puts everything in, and get the evidence. The only problem I have with the grand jury process here, and because I believe in grand juries, I also believe in the rule of law. The issue here, because the DA in Staten Island is always regarded as a person who works very closely with police officers. And that's what DAs do. They work with police officers. They might have done what Governor Mario Cuomo did. Now we have Governor Andrew Cuomo. What Mario Cuomo did was, this was the issue of police misuse of force, or abuse of force, in terms of Crown Heights and Queens, and when we had racial tensions in New York City, he appointed a special prosecutor, knowing that the local DAs, it was the Michael Griffith's case and stuff in Howard Beach, knowing that local DAs are too close to the cops. I think it should have been a special prosecutor, and I think people would have accepted it. No indictment or an indictment. But when you don't have a special prosecutor and you have a DA who's so close to the cops, who work every day with cops, then you have suspicion.
But does the video in this case make it better or worse for the so-called protesters and the Al Sharptons of the world? In other words, or for anybody to accept it? Because what you do have is you have the guy saying, "I can't breathe," but you know that the grand jury saw this. So the grand jury saw this and still, in consideration of all the facts, said, no, the cop didn't do anything wrong. Now, they also saw the other part of the tape where they approach him. They had suspicion he was selling cigarettes illegally, and he said, "You're not touching me. No, get away from me. You're not arresting me." Again, resisting arrest. That's probably what the officer testified to the grand jury. I was trying to do my job. He wouldn't let me. We had to take him down. He's like 360 pounds.
There's one thing that they won't have to say in this specific situation. There won't be no hands up, don't shoot. Because Eric Gardner did not put his hands up. He did not submit. And so you don't have that. But you'll have the mantra from the racial rhetoric.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
But at that point, he was already, down, and they got 5 guys on top of him, and they didn't know he had illness. They didn't know he had asthma. All that kind of stuff.
What I'm telling you is that I want to channel Barbara Jordan, Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, and she said, "My faith in the Constitution is whole, is total, is complete. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in due process of law, and cops get due process of law too." And cops are entitled to the rule of law, not the mob, not pressure groups demanding indictments, demanding convictions. That's not the way our system works. Now, if there's been constitutional violations or civil rights violations, then the federal government might take another look.
What do you think that there's going to be anything like Ferguson here in New York in a reaction?
I never predict violence. I never predict mob rule. And I don't think St. Louis is like the Jim Crow South, and I don't think New York City is the Jim Crow South.
All right, Michael Meyers, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot more to talk about with him when we come back, so don't go away. We have Ferguson to discuss here on the Steve Malzberg Show.